Hey y'all, today we were talking about one of the most iconic fashion doll brands, Bratz, and how I think they're playing a role in the fashion industry.
Bratz are specifically focused on fashion and focuses on that older girl. And the great advantage of winning the hearts and minds of older girls is that their younger sisters aspire to them. So ultimately, you get this really good trickle-down effect.
Bratz was created by Isaac Loran. Loran was working at Mattel. While on a 7-month leave from Mattel, he thought of the idea for the dolls. Loran later on returned to Mattel and pitched the idea to them, but they weren't buying it. Loran later on pitched the idea to MJ Entertainment, and they bought the idea. Bratz debuted in 2001. The dolls are a diverse group of girls named Chloe, Yasmin, Sasha, and Jade. One of the main things that caught the public eye were the fashion the dolls wore. The dolls were targeted towards preteen girls who grew up playing Barbie, but thought they were too big to play a Barbie, and Bratz became their new alternative.
They're so fashionable, and they're even good looking better looking than my sister. She's 18, but don't tell her that.
When Bratz debuted, they wore chunky platforms, baggy pants, crop tops, and dramatic makeup. Some parents believed that the dolls would have a negative influence because of their name, and some parents were concerned about the dolls' fashion. They believed the outfits were inappropriate. They even called the dolls streetwalkers.
In the fickle hearts of preteen girls who'd already left Barbie far behind.
The key feature about Bratz was that it wasn't Barbie. I think it's an exaggeration. I think it's a caricature. The head's disproportionately big, the lips are ridiculously pouty, and the look of the clothing is exaggerated in the same way.
That flashy Bratz look might be thrilling for kids, but it strikes fear in the hearts of parents who see it as alarmingly sexy. Even the name has a defiant ring that taunts adults.
I really don't want her to be a brat, and I don't think that really encourages the proper behavior, and I really don't like the way the dolls are dressed. I don't feel that's appropriate for them to be wearing high-heeled platform shoes, mini skirts, and midriff tops.
Critics would say, well, you're sending a message, maybe a message that it's okay to dress like this, it's okay to be, even though the young girls may not say, sexy in that way.
The doll.
Are you concerned at all about that?
It's a doll. A doll doesn't send the message. The message comes from the home, from the parents, from the schools. A doll, a plastic doll, doesn't send any messages to anyone.
For the diverse legion of girls who want to live in a Bratz universe, there are Bratz babies, Bratz kids and teen Bratz, Bratz televisions and Bratz laptops, Bratz movies, CDs, and a Bratz cartoon that gives girls advice on living a Bratz life.
Stop him!
I don't think an African-American girl or a Middle Eastern ethnic background girl or a Latin girl wants to buy necessarily a blonde doll. I think they want to buy something that basically resembles who they are.
That distinctive Bratz aesthetic, ethnically diverse, edgy, and urban, brings MGA $2 billion a year in retail revenue.
We love it.
That's real money, even in the land of make-believe. And it's meant real trouble for an American icon.
Eventually, Bratz became #1 beating out Barbie, and by 2005, they were #1. They were the #1 fashion doll. Because of the popularity with Bratz, Mattel's sales started declining by 13%, and Mattel had to figure out how could they, make more sales. So they thought of an idea, and that idea was called My Scene, and it basically was just another version of Bratz.
In its second year, My Scene sales went up almost 400%. Bratz boss Isaac Loran is suspicious.
I basically called My Scene dolls cheap imitation of the Bratz dolls, and it's unfortunate that a company like Mattel, who's really #1 toy company in the world, resorts to imitation rather than innovation. We have raised the bar and we have innovated our product line even more and more, and there is more to come. There is more to come. So let's see if they can catch on. I don't think they can.
Only debuted was only a thought because of Bratz. In My Scene, they were fashion obsessed as well. They had huge heads. They wore big shoes, but they could fit a regular Barbie foot. And they basically just copied whatever Bratz did. My Scene was only curated so Mattel could beat Bratz. Mattel later on sued MGA, claiming that Isaac stole the idea while he was working at Mattel. So everybody started suing each other, and it became an ongoing saga. If you want me to do a video on all the lawsuits between Mattel and MGA, just let me know in the comments. In 2018, this is where like the rise of early 2000s started slowly coming back, and Bratz were early 2000s, so their outfits were based on the clothes that were trending during the time. In 2018, they partnered with fashion illustrator Hayden Williams, which fans have been asking MJ to collab with him to do the work for the new launch of the dolls. And they listened. The new launch is called the Bratz Collector, going back to the dolls' original style. With the heavy makeup, potty lips, and edgy outfits. The dolls cost about $50, and fans were upset because they can only get them on Amazon. They couldn't physically go out and look at the doll and hold the doll like in the store. And then, once the fans received the dolls, they quickly ran to social media and Amazon review lists to express how much they was upset about the poor quality of the dolls, and the dolls' clothes were full of defects and they were falling apart. Later on that year, the Bratz challenge became very popular. Well, I would say it became very popular. I would say that, okay, in 2018, the Bratz challenge started getting attraction. And the Bratz challenge is basically where you dress up like a Bratz doll. It first started off as just recreating a Bratz makeup look. And it could be from the original dolls that MJ put out, or it could have been one from the fans. And there are fans that will create makeup looks and outfits and make photo shoots for the Bratz. So fans would do that for the Bratz challenge. And then it started out as people actually turning themselves into an actual doll. And then NGA started posting it on their Instagram, and more people found out about the Bratz challenge through their Instagram as well. And then people started doing, oh, I dressed up as a Bratz star for a whole entire week. And, slowly it started getting more attraction. Then once the biggest influencers started doing it, it's like everybody started doing the Bratz challenge. And then eventually, as Bratz became more and more popular, they became memes and reaction videos. And that really helped out Bratz as well. And then people started talking about how the fashion of Bratz, how their fashion is kind of like, how there's kind of like style icons, and how Bobby could never be so stylish. Later on that year, Bratz debuted their collection with a Spanish retailer called Bratz, and the collection included t-shirts, a dress, and these pretty rhinestone shorts. Then we finally got what we have been waiting for. We have been asking them over and over, can you please give us like a clothing line that is Bratz inspired? Can you please give us a clothing line that you would create for the girls that we could actually wear? So, in August of 2020, the online popular retail company called Dolls Kills announced they were doing a collaboration with Bratz. And I was excited, but I was like, I wonder what this is going to look like. But despite a lot of fans having a bunch of excitement, there were a lot of fans who was wholly against it. Because earlier that year, Dolls Kills was in hot water because they were being accused of stealing designs, ripping out designers. They were accused of being racist. They were accused of being discriminating against disabled people. So a lot of people were like, we're not having it. We don't want this. This is not anything we should be excited for because it's Dolls Kill. But I do believe this is a smart move because when Baby Fat first debuted, they debuted with Forever 21. Forever 21 has a certain audience, and Baby Fat has supposed to cater to a certain audience. Now, Dolls Kids is very popular, and I feel like people who shop on Dolls Kids, who love Dolls Kids, they play with Bratz. That's the type of vibe I get from Dolls Kill. I feel like the girls that like Dolls Kill play with Bratz. And despite the criticism, the launch was successful. It sold out in minutes. And even to this day, they still have the collection on the website. It still sells out. This collection is very popular and it's very loved. The collection with Dolls Kill, in my opinion, was successful because it's one, what we've been asking for, and two, the airbrush t-shirts, the Bratz boots, the bucket hats, the little track suits. If you think about it, that is Y2K. And what is trendy in 2021? Y2K inspired outfits. Because Bratz were early 2000s, people were doing early 2000s outfits, but they was doing it inspired by the Bratz. Like, people was getting inspiration from the Bratz. Yes, they was getting inspiration from the Bratz. So this is like, and then after that, like, I feel like fashion Twitter were like, okay, Bratz of the queens. This is like when, okay, this is it. Bratz are in the fashion industry. They are selling clothes. They are styling people. People are dressing up as Bratz. In the 70s, they were platforms, and they was popular in the 70s. And then they came back. They started to become more popular in the 90s, and in the 90s and mid 2000s, mid 2000s. So there would be platform boots, platform sandals, platform shoes. Okay. Of course, the Bratz wore platform boots, and people call platform boots Brat boots because that's what the girls wore for majority of the time. And then because of the popularity behind the late 90s and early 2000s, people loved the style of the boots, so they start calling Bratz boots. Even though there's platform boots, people just call them Bratz boots. And this term started to become more popular, and people wanted to mimic their style. So they would type in Bratz boots on the internet, and they would just try to find boots that are inspired by Bratz. Fashion boutiques are using the Bratz aesthetic as their aesthetic. People who love fashion are using the Bratz aesthetic as their aesthetic. And their fonts is very popular. Like, come on, there's a shop on Shein that says honey, and it's in the Bratz fonts. Like, Bratz are really all the blueprint. People are kind of mimicking their style. And luxury brands start to mimic the Bratz style. They're iconic. They're iconic. And like, at first I saw it like here and there, but then like when I seen other people talk about it, I was like, okay, I see like other people see inspirational Bratz, but they're putting their own twist on it. They're not like just roughly just straight up copying. I feel like they're putting their own twist on it. The looks are Bratz inspired, and I feel like the dolls are playing a role in fashion. So yes, that's my video on how Bratz came to be and how I believe they're playing a role in fashion. And if I miss anything, then after this, I'll just put other stuff in the video so you guys can get a better idea of what I mean. And let me know in the comments if you agree. And if you like this video, share it. Comment, like, if you like these type of videos, because this is a fashion channel and I will be doing other fashion related videos. Comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.